Did you know that a single vegetable on your dinner plate could quietly be destroying your kidneys without giving you the slightest warning? Most seniors believe kidney damage comes only from salt, diabetes, or genetics, but the truth is far more unsettling. Your kidneys are attacked every day by foods you trust, foods you've eaten your entire life, foods you would never suspect. And the most alarming part? The destruction is silent. There is no pain, no early symptom, no signal that the tiny filters inside your kidneys are being clogged, inflamed, and chemically burned from within. If you're over 60, your kidneys are already working harder than ever. Blood vessels are narrower, filtration is slower, medications accumulate differently, and dehydration sets in faster. That means even healthy vegetables can suddenly become dangerous, triggering spikes in blood pressure, crystal formation, toxic buildup, and microscopic scarring that leads straight to chronic kidney disease. I've seen seniors go to bed feeling perfectly fine and wake up weak, swollen, confused, or facing kidney numbers they never imagined. And they all said the same heartbreaking words: I didn't know. No one told me. Today that changes. Let's uncover the 5 vegetables quietly destroying your kidneys and the truth every senior in America deserves to hear. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Spinach, the healthy vegetable that quietly turns into a kidney-destroying trap after age 60. Spinach has been celebrated for generations in American households, placed lovingly in salads, blended into morning smoothies, ladled next to roast chicken as the heart-healthy choice. But for older adults, especially anyone past 60, this familiar green can become something far more dangerous than most people realize. Beneath its bright color lies one of the highest oxalate concentrations found in any vegetable. And for aging kidneys, oxalates are not harmless. They are microscopic crystals, sharp as glass, capable of scraping, scarring, and clogging the tiny filters inside your kidneys. What makes this so frightening is that the damage happens silently. Your kidneys do not send pain signals when they are overwhelmed. They do not warn you when oxalate crystals begin to accumulate. They do not alert you when inflammation spreads through the microvessels that once filtered your blood with ease. Instead, the breakdown is gradual. Day after day, week after week, the crystals settle, the filtration slows, and toxins that should have been flushed out begin to linger in your bloodstream. By the time symptoms appear, fatigue, swelling, rising blood pressure, the injury is already advanced. For seniors, this risk is multiplied. Kidney function naturally declines with age, blood flow decreases, the ability to buffer and eliminate acids weakens. Medications such as diuretics, ACE inhibitors, and diabetes drugs further limit your kidney's resilience. What might be harmless to a 30-year-old can be devastating to a 70-year-old. And when a senior blends spinach into a smoothie, eats it raw in salads, or consumes it daily, believing it is good nutrition, they are bathing their kidneys in a chemical overload the organ is no longer equipped to handle. I still remember one patient, a 74-year-old widow named Helen from Florida. Heartbroken by the loss of her husband, she committed herself to living healthier. Every morning, she prepared a spinach smoothie, convinced it was helping her stay strong. 8 months later, she arrived in the ER doubled over in pain. Imaging revealed clusters of oxalate crystals, large stones on both sides. Her kidney function had dropped dramatically, and she faced months of procedures and lifelong monitoring. She had no idea she had been harming herself with the very food she believed was healing her. This is the cruel truth. Spinach can speed the decline of aging kidneys, raise the risk of stones, increase inflammation, and quietly push older adults toward chronic kidney disease, a condition that steals energy, clouds the mind, weakens the heart, and in its advanced stages threatens independence and life itself. If you are over 60, and especially if you take medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, spinach is not something to consume casually. It demands caution, timing, and strict moderation. Your kidneys have served you faithfully for decades. They deserve protection, not punishment disguised as health. And if spinach, a vegetable praised everywhere, can hide such risks, wait until you hear about the next food, one even more common on American tables, yet capable of overwhelming your kidneys in a completely different and far more deceptive way. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Potatoes, the comfort food that silently overloads aging kidneys and pushes seniors toward dangerous decline. Potatoes are woven into American life, baked at Sunday dinners, mashed beside Thanksgiving turkey, fried and served at nearly every diner in the country. For decades, they've been seen as harmless, familiar, even nourishing. But for seniors, especially those living with high blood pressure, diabetes, or early kidney decline, potatoes can become a hidden threat that slowly damages the kidneys in ways most older adults never imagine. What makes potatoes so deceptive is that they taste gentle, they feel comforting, yet inside your body they act with the force of a biochemical storm. Their starch converts almost instantly into glucose, flooding the bloodstream with sugar at a speed aging organs cannot tolerate. When blood sugar rises rapidly, your kidneys are forced to work harder, far harder than they were ever designed to at your age. The filtering units inside the kidneys, called nephrons, are delicate. They function like microscopic sieves. But high glucose thickens the blood, increases its stickiness, and strains these fragile filters every single time sugar spikes. Over months and years, this repeated stress stiffens the blood vessels, scars the filtration membrane, and accelerates a quiet decline known as diabetic kidney damage, even in seniors who are not officially diabetic, but whose bodies no longer respond to insulin the way they once did. Imagine forcing a worn water filter to push thick, syrup-like liquid through it day after day. Eventually it clogs, it breaks down, it fails. That is exactly what happens to the kidneys of older adults who rely on potatoes as a daily staple, believing they are simply eating a basic American food. I once cared for a 79-year-old man from Minnesota named Martin, a gentle soul who had lived alone since his wife passed. Potatoes were his comfort, easy to cook, easy to chew, inexpensive. He ate them nearly every day, mashed on Monday, baked on Tuesday, in a stew by Thursday. He felt no pain, no warning, until one routine appointment revealed his kidney function had dropped sharply. His creatinine was elevated, his GFR dropping into dangerous territory. He looked at me, bewildered, and said, "They're just potatoes." That single sentence captured the tragedy so many seniors face. Foods they trust the most can betray them the fastest. The damage potatoes inflict doesn't stop at the kidneys. As filtration declines, toxins begin building up in the bloodstream, waste the kidneys can no longer remove. Seniors experience fatigue that won't go away, swelling in the legs, rising blood pressure, difficulty concentrating, and in time, a frightening decline in heart function. Untreated, this cascade pushes them toward dialysis, disability, and the loss of independence they fought their whole lives to maintain. If you're over 60, especially if you're on blood pressure medication or have fluctuating blood sugar, potatoes must be treated with caution, not comfort. They are not harmless. They are a burden your aging kidneys may no longer be strong enough to carry. And if a simple potato can push your kidneys toward failure so quietly, wait until you hear about the next vegetable, one that looks even more innocent but can disrupt your heart rhythm and overload your kidneys in an entirely different and far more alarming way. 3. Tomatoes, the everyday American vegetable that quietly disrupts your heart, overloads your kidneys, and turns into a dangerous trap after age 60. Tomatoes appear so harmless, bright, juicy, refreshing, and on nearly every American table. They sit in salads, sandwiches, pasta sauces, and soups. For many older adults, tomatoes feel like the safest choice, a light food that pairs well with almost anything. But what most seniors never hear, and what I wish every person over 60 understood, is that tomatoes can become deeply dangerous when kidneys begin to slow down, when medications accumulate in the bloodstream, and when the heart no longer regulates minerals the way it did decades earlier. The real threat lies in their high potassium content. Potassium is essential in the right amounts, but aging kidneys lose the ability to remove excess potassium efficiently. What used to be normal suddenly becomes hazardous. As potassium builds up silently, the electrical rhythm of the heart begins to falter. Some seniors feel a flutter in their chest, others notice dizziness, but many feel nothing at all until the moment their heart misfires. Elevated potassium can cause sudden weakness, fainting, or a life-threatening arrhythmia that strikes without warning. And because tomatoes are not seen as a risky food, most seniors never suspect them. But the story doesn't end there. Tomatoes are acidic, and that acid can irritate the urinary system, inflame the bladder, and worsen nocturnal reflux, another hidden contributor to kidney strain. As inflammation takes root, the microscopic vessels inside the kidneys become irritated and swollen. This slows filtration, allowing toxins to circulate longer, thickening the blood, and forcing the kidneys to fight harder with every heartbeat. Over months and years, this constant battle accelerates kidney wear, especially in older adults already taking ACE inhibitors, RBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics, medications prescribed to protect the heart, but that also raise potassium levels. I'll never forget Jefferson, an 82-year-old retiree from Ohio who proudly ate a large tomato salad every night. He believed it kept his heart healthy. One night he collapsed near the bathroom, frightened, confused, unable to catch his breath. At the hospital, his potassium levels were dangerously high, so high that his heart rhythm had begun to destabilize. His kidneys, already weakened by age, simply couldn't keep up. He had been unknowingly building toward this crisis for months, one tomato at a time. The vegetable he trusted had become a silent saboteur. This is how kidney decline unfolds for so many seniors, not in dramatic episodes, but in tiny daily habits that quietly erode their health. As kidney function drops, blood pressure rises, fluid builds, energy fades, and the heart becomes more vulnerable to every imbalance in the body. It is a slow, merciless unraveling that robs older adults of stability, confidence, and independence. If you're over 60, tomatoes are no longer a food to eat casually. Your kidneys deserve protection, not daily assaults masked as healthy choices. And if a simple tomato can disrupt your heart and overload your kidneys this easily, wait until you discover the next vegetable, one that looks wholesome but can trigger crystal buildup, raise uric acid, and accelerate kidney damage even faster than you might imagine. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Beets, the heart-healthy vegetable that quietly floods aging kidneys with crystals, sugar, and toxic burden. Beets are often celebrated in senior wellness magazines, praised on television, and recommended in health newsletters as a miracle for circulation. Their deep crimson color makes them look powerful, almost medicinal. But for older adults, especially anyone past 60 with high blood pressure, diabetes, gout, or early kidney changes, beets can become one of the most dangerous vegetables on the plate. Beneath their bright sweetness lies a combination that aging kidneys simply cannot handle. Extremely high oxalates, natural sugars that absorb rapidly, and compounds that raise uric acid. It is a biochemical storm, and it strikes silently. Oxalates are sharp, microscopic crystals capable of embedding themselves into kidney tissue. When someone young eats beets, their kidneys usually flush these crystals without trouble. But with age, the filtration system weakens. The kidney's microscopic tubules narrow, blood flow decreases, and the ability to buffer acids declines. Suddenly, the oxalates from a daily beet salad or a glass of beet juice no longer pass through harmlessly. They begin to accumulate, forming the early seeds of kidney stones, tiny at first, then larger, more jagged, more destructive. Every crystal scrapes the kidney's delicate lining. Each scrape triggers inflammation. Over months and years, this inflammation becomes scarring, and that scarring becomes permanent loss of filtering capacity. Adding to the danger, beets contain more natural sugar than most people realize. That sweetness does not stay in the mouth. It surges into the bloodstream. For seniors whose insulin response is slower, this rapid rise in blood sugar thickens the blood, stresses the kidneys, and speeds the decline of filtration. Now, the kidney isn't just fighting oxalate crystals. It's fighting inflammation, acidity, and sugar-driven vascular stiffness all at once. I once treated a 76-year-old woman from Texas named Rose who drank beet juice every morning. She did it because she wanted to stay strong and believed the juice was helping her circulation. Instead, it was quietly overwhelming her kidneys. She arrived at the clinic with relentless back pain, swelling in her ankles, and blood work showing soaring oxalate levels. Imaging confirmed stones already forming in both kidneys, clusters of crystals growing faster than her body could clear them. She looked at me in disbelief and whispered, "I thought I was doing the right thing." That is the heartbreak of kidney decline. It punishes good intentions, especially in older adults who simply want to stay healthy. When kidneys become overloaded by oxalates and sugar, the consequences are far-reaching. Blood pressure rises. Fatigue sets in. Toxic waste lingers in the bloodstream, affecting the heart, the brain, even the nerves. Seniors may feel weaker, foggier, less steady on their feet. The kidneys, once resilient, now struggle to perform the basic task of keeping the body balanced, and the decline is often irreversible. If you are over 60, beets should never be consumed mindlessly. Your kidneys have less margin for error now, and every choice matters. And if beets can create this much chaos inside an aging body, wait until you hear about the final vegetable, one so common in American kitchens that most seniors eat it weekly, yet its hidden sodium and acid load can quietly destroy kidney function faster than anyone expects. 5. Pickled vegetables. The salty American staple that quietly crushes your kidneys and accelerates dangerous decline after age 60. For many older Americans, pickled vegetables feel like a small joy of everyday life. Crisp pickles beside a sandwich, tangy pickled peppers on a salad, or jars of sauerkraut tucked in the refrigerator just for flavor. They seem harmless, even nostalgic, reminding you of family barbecues, deli lunches, and simple meals shared decades ago. But for seniors, especially anyone managing high blood pressure, swelling, heart disease, or early kidney decline, pickled vegetables can become a devastating threat hiding in plain sight. What makes them so dangerous is not the vegetable itself, but the staggering amount of sodium, acid, and preservatives used to keep them crunchy and flavorful. As we age, the kidneys lose efficiency. They no longer remove sodium with the same strength or speed. Instead of flushing excess salt out, older kidneys hold on to it, slowly, relentlessly, creating an dangerous internal imbalance. Every forkful of pickled vegetables draws water into the bloodstream, thickening the blood, raising pressure inside fragile vessels, and forcing the kidneys to filter against a rising tide of fluid. This increased pressure damages the microscopic filtration units inside the kidneys. They stretch, then scar, then fail. And because the process is silent, most seniors never feel the destruction happening deep inside until the damage is severe. High sodium also triggers another hidden danger: swelling. Seniors who enjoy pickled foods often notice their ankles puffing, their rings tightening, or their breath becoming short when walking across a room. These are not normal signs of aging. They are early warnings that the kidneys and heart are struggling under the weight of sodium they can no longer handle. Over time, fluid builds around the heart and lungs, increasing the risk of heart failure, a terrifying complication deeply intertwined with kidney decline. And then there is the acid. Pickled vegetables are soaked in vinegar and brine, which irritate the bladder and urinary tract. In younger adults, this might cause mild discomfort, but in older adults with weakened tissues and slower healing, chronic irritation can inflame the kidneys themselves. When inflammation spreads through the delicate kidney tubules, filtration slows even further. Waste accumulates in the bloodstream, energy drops, mental clarity fades, and blood pressure climbs higher and higher. It becomes a vicious cycle: salt and acid destroying what little kidney reserve remains. I remember an 80-year-old man from North Carolina named Walter who loved pickles with dinner. He ate them almost every night, believing they were just vegetables. Over time, his blood pressure became nearly impossible to control, even with medication. His legs swelled, his energy vanished, and one day he collapsed from fluid overload. Testing revealed his kidneys were severely stressed, their function steadily declining under the silent assault of years of high sodium intake. His shock was heartbreaking. He had no idea that something as ordinary as a pickle could push him toward kidney failure. If you are over 60, pickled vegetables are not a harmless side dish. They are a chemical burden your kidneys can no longer afford. Every bite matters now, and your future health depends on honoring the limits of an aging body. And if these 5 everyday vegetables can inflict this much hidden damage, what you're about to hear in the final summary may change the way you look at food and your kidneys for the rest of your life. Final reflection: protecting your kidneys means protecting your independence. As we reach our 60s, 70s, and 80s, the truth becomes unavoidable. The kidneys that carried us through decades of work, family, and life's challenges are no longer the silent powerhouses they once were. They filter more slowly, recover less easily, and suffer more deeply from the daily choices we make. The 5 vegetables you've just learned about, spinach, potatoes, tomatoes, beets, and pickled vegetables, aren't dangerous because they're unnatural. They're dangerous because the aging body cannot process oxalates, potassium, sugars, acids, and sodium the way it used to. What was harmless at 40 can be harmful at 70. What was once a simple snack can now raise blood pressure, trigger inflammation, overload the heart, and slowly suffocate the kidneys from the inside out. But awareness is power. Every small adjustment you make now, every meal you choose more wisely, becomes an act of protection for your future. Your kidneys are the guardians of your energy, your clarity, your balance, and your independence. Treat them with the respect they've earned, and they will serve you for years to come. Because the truth is simple. At this stage of life, the right knowledge isn't just helpful, it's life-saving. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.